Hello everybody, this is Dr. Cole, Sunday afternoon, April 3rd, as we're now entering week 12 of Political Science 1013 for the spring 2022 term. Everybody, we've been looking at Unit 6. I want to stress to you once again, it's a fairly short unit. The things we're trying to accomplish there is to go through with you the various units of the federal bureaucracy, including the cabinet level departments and many other entities that aren't part of any cabinet level department. And then to go on and look at some of the difficulties that public officials, especially the president, may have with managing the bureaucracy. Now, we started a discussion yesterday, and that will be running through today and tomorrow, closing tomorrow at midnight Monday, April 4th. We gave you some material to look at about a spending program in our area, at least the Panhandle area, Garden City, Kansas. We asked you what you thought of that. Is it an example of wasteful federal spending or not? Now, the point we're trying to make is that very often the bureaucracy acts in such a way as to perpetuate spending programs. So here we have an airstrip and a control tower in Garden City, Kansas, and a couple of flights a day that are subsidized to and from Garden City, connecting Garden City to Dallas-Fort Worth. So, do you think that's a good expenditure of your taxpayer dollars or not? Now, the actors you have who may be or may have in the past colluded on a matter like this, and I'm just speculating, I have no first-hand knowledge. But what might happen, what typically might happen is at one point of the so-called Iron Triangle, you would have transportation committees and subcommittees of Congress. The committees that deal with, there will be one in particular in the House and Senate dealing with the Department of Transportation, which would have responsibility for this particular program. Then there's a bureau in the Department of Transportation itself that would be responsible for spending federal money on the control tower and on the subsidies that keep the flights going. American Eagle flights, I believe they would be called, back and forth twice a day between Garden City and the big Dallas-Fort Worth airport. From where you could get, once you get to Dallas-Fort Worth, you could get to just about anywhere. And then the third actor in that triangular relationship would be perhaps businesses in the Garden City area, or the Garden City Chamber of Commerce, or the city government, or the government of the county, which think it's a good idea, may think that it's a good idea to maintain that airstrip in those flights to lower the costs of business, lower their transportation costs, make it easier for people in the business community in Garden City to get back and forth to Dallas-Fort Worth or other parts around the country to where they might need to travel. Okay, so is that a good thing for the federal government to be doing or not? So think about that, express your thoughts, and I'll try to chip in myself sometime later on today or tomorrow before we close that discussion up tomorrow night, Monday at midnight. Then everybody, Wednesday, we're going to do quiz number 6 on some material related to Unit 6 on the federal bureaucracy. You have 2 articles to read, 2 of the 3 we might describe as pro and con about the federal bureaucracy going back a couple of years, and then a more recent article about President Biden and his policy toward the federal bureaucracy. We might say that President Biden is friendlier toward the bureaucracy than President Trump is, or was. President Trump's idea was that the bureaucracy needed to be reined in and limited. President Biden would be friendlier to the bureaucracy, and he took some steps his first few weeks and months in office to undo what he might have seen as some damage that had been done to the bureaucracy by President Trump. So those are 3 things for you to look at for the quiz that will run for 24 hours this Wednesday, the 6th. And then once we do all that, everybody, we'll close our discussion out tomorrow at midnight, Monday at midnight, and then we'll take the quiz Wednesday, and after that, we'll get some material out to you related to Unit 7 on the Supreme Court, which is going to take us well into the month of April. Then we'll do Unit 8 on Congress, which will wind this up for the spring term of 2022. So you have a discussion to contribute to today, tonight, and tomorrow. If you have not done so already, a quiz on Wednesday, and then we'll be starting on the Supreme Court. So take it easy, study hard, and we'll be talking to you once again a bit about the Supreme Court at this time next week.